It's not a good. I was diarrhea. I was literally like this. I was diarrheaing and then throwing up through my legs into the toilet at the same time. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know that I have. If I had, it was a very long time ago,
Oof.
and that's not a memory I want. But
Mine wasn't because of a hangover. Mine was just that's how bad.
Sick.
That's how sick I was.
Yeah.
That sickness is trying to kill me.
Right.
Gerardia. Becky Gallant pops in. She says, "Give me some love, baby." So we're gonna show her some love.
Thank you.
All right, and that's all the super chats for now. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate you guys. Now let's talk about what was your most fun international trip. Did you ever have a trip where it was like a dream the whole time? You were just like, wow, this is unforgettable. These memories are gonna be with me for the rest of my life. Did you do anything like that?
Yeah.
Was it like
that was probably our Italy trip
Italy?
because that was literally my number one
Yeah.
place that I wanted to go. Excuse me. And fortunately, we were able to make that trip be a lot more than just like the basis of that trip was going to go to a reptile show.
Okay.
But we were able to extend the trip out
Okay.
and hit a bunch of different places.
Nice.
So
How many did you hit? Like how many different spots did you travel to?
We went Rome, Milan, Venice, and Florence.
Dang, 4 different spots. Now I don't know Italy too well. Did you guys have to travel
Yes.
far?
So we took
between
the
each
bullet
one?
train, which was
Okay.
also super cool.
Yeah, those are quick though.
Yep.
Those are quick.
It was scary the first time because
Really?
we didn't know what we were doing. So like making sure you bought the right ticket and making sure you found the right thing. Again, you're in a different country, speaks different language, so there was a little bit of nerves on that.
For sure.
But
I did one of those.
But once we did the first time, then it was like, okay, all right, so this is how it works. And then by the end, I felt like a pro, like, okay, this is, now I know what to do.
I thought it was cool the time I did it.
Oh, it was so amazing. And I'm like, I wish they had these here. Like, because the way they travel so fast. You could, like I can't read on a bus or anything, like that.
Okay.
But it's so smooth, it's so fast. You could read, you could do whatever.
I agree. I was reading
It was
too.
a nice, comfortable.
They got the food cart, snack cart coming by. Give you little chocolates. That's what they did that for me.
Oh, okay.
It was
No,
like
we
Harry
didn't.
Potter.
No, it was not a Harry Potter for us.
Mine was.
I think they had little concession places that you could go to if you wanted to, like in between the cars to get the stuff. But we kind of had brought our own stuff.
So you did the train to 4 different spots or whatever. What was the first one you went to? You went to Rome first?
Yes.
Rome, and now Rome. What is in Rome? Is that like the Colosseum?
Yes.
And is the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Rome?
Nope.
That's
that was not there.
What was in Rome?
The Vatican.
The Vatican. That's where the Pope lives, right?
Yep. Exactly. Okay. So we saw the Colosseum. We saw the Vatican. There's a bunch of different like historic, like the because I'm the worst.
That's okay.
It was just cool because there's everything there is just ancient.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And
Literally.
to me, I just loved it. I loved everything about it. Everything is super close together. Like they've got the cobblestone streets because these were not made for cars. Yeah. They were made to be walking or horses or whatever. So, and the fact that people drive cars in there are insane.
Really?
And the fact that people don't die more, it just drives.
Are you serious?
That's why like all the European cars are so tiny too, because anything bigger wouldn't fit down those streets and stuff.
Dang, that's what, so I want to talk about like the Colosseum and stuff. You went inside, right?
Yeah. Yep.
How
we toured inside.
How was it? Like, tell me about the experience. I want to know about it because obviously I'm pretty sure everybody does know, but if you don't, that's where they fucking put gladiators in to die.
It was
from lions and bears.
It was amazing to literally be there, and that's what I'm saying. Like to actually be looking at something that you can take yourself back to that time and try to picture it in its heyday, and then to see like it's still standing, and then B, you go in there and then you get to walk around and they show you like, okay, this is where the fights would go, and this is where the different stuff, and then the beautiful like the artistry you
Yeah,
know,
so it's still beautiful.
well, yeah, they've got all the different sculptures and different stuff that are there that are still there that, you know, has beautiful marble and all of this
Yeah.
different stuff that, again, obviously it's not as it was there, but the fact that it's still there and you can see the beauty, you can imagine, you know, what it was when it was pristine.
Was the one that you forgot the Pantheon?
Oh, yeah.
The Pantheon.
We saw that too.
Now, now, what is the Pantheon? Is that a library of sorts, or do we not know? Let's see. Let's see if I can get a
Google that,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's get a little Google.
Because again, you know, I'm
No.
not dad. I'm the worst.
You
with my
saw
brain.
it though, right?
Yes.
Like,
The Pantheon is not, most stuff there is a basilica, which is a church.
Basilica, okay,
Which
church.
is a church. But I don't think the Pantheon was a church or
no,
a
I
basilica.
feel like it. I don't know if this is true or not. I always thought it was like a place of teaching or something along those lines, but that could be completely wrong.
So maybe say,
Let's see, yeah,
what,
like,
what is the Pantheon?
Yeah, what is it actually?
Actually, no,
used
yeah,
for?
that's what we saw. So that was a basilica then. Because yes, that's the one that we actually saw from our hotel room. And we
guess-
went inside of it, and
It says religion.
it was
under
it was a basilica, which
Oh.
is like a place of worship. So
Do people still use it?
oh yeah, there's
Really?
still, they've got different statues, they've got different things like that. So
Oh.
while I don't know how much, like that one, I don't know whether they hold services or not, but they have
Uh-huh.
a bunch of different religious things where people would go in there and could pray and
Wow.
do stuff like that.
So is like everything in Italy beautiful, like in the way of like architecture and design and just
Yes.
art? Because
Most
that
of
shit
it,
looks
yes.
insane.
That's exactly, even anything that's of that older whatever and
Yeah.
not new has that that ancient, just, and that's what I love too, because back there it's like whenever they did anything they did it like with style and
Yeah.
amazing and beautiful. It wasn't just like, oh, we're just going to put up this whatever, like,
Yeah.
you know, even the buildings or
Yeah.
where people lived were fancy and ornate and had all this, you know, stuff, which to me I think is awesome.
That was my favorite part about going to the UK. When I went to UK, it was actually a different age range than what you're dealing with in Italy. Yours was literally thousands of years old, right?
Yeah, at least in the Rome area. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know exact dates, but mine are probably still in the hundreds. I would be surprised if they were in the thousands. I could be wrong, but most of the stuff that we saw that was that old were castles, like legitimate castles.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Stuff that you're thinking about knights fighting in. And one of the coolest ones was in Edinburgh, all right? Because you may not know this, Edinburgh is really cool in my opinion because in the middle of the city, there's this mountain type thing. It's not necessarily super tall when you think like mountain, but it's fucking huge where you have to walk up, and at the top of it is a castle with walls surrounding the castle, which is incorporated into the city these days. Like the walls are
Really?
open so that it goes from city streets with consignment shops and just bakeries and stuff, and then you're walking to a castle. All right,
That's cool.
And they have everything from original cannons that were fired to stop, and the view from this castle you could see for, I wouldn't be surprised, hundreds of miles. Like you can just see forever. So there's cannons up there just hitting people, and they turn the sleeping quarters and like, I don't know, like the prisoner section onto a museum.
Okay.
So you could walk through and you could see armor that was used in fights
That's cool.
that were there. You could see all different types of like, so you know, in our military, we have different sectors, I was going to say, different factions of like,
Yeah, like the Army, Navy, yeah, Marines, yeah.
They had all that stuff back then, just different.
Mm-hmm.
They would be specialized with different armors and different tools and stuff. It was very cool. And you got to touch it all, and you got to be there, and you got to look at it all. And there was something special about being at those super old castles. But imagine that Detroit, we're like, oh, we got the GM building.
Yeah.
It's fucking, yeah, that's our thing. We got the GM building. And now, but think about Edinburgh. They have a fucking ancient castle.
Yes.
And you can go get a pint and then walk into a castle. Like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
crazy.
I know, and that's the thing that I love too, about, like I said, every place I've went, because
Yeah.
there's so much history
Yeah.
there, and to me that is just amazing in itself when you
too.
can look at it, appreciate it for that, but then yeah, you literally, much like reading a book, right? Take yourself back
Yeah.
in time and imagine,
Yeah.
okay, back in this heyday, like,
Yeah,
you know
what
what
was
I
this
mean?
like?
Is would be really cool. So that's definitely on my list to do some of the
gotta do
places you guys
Scotland.
did, because I don't know that Dad and I have seen any kind of castles or anything like that. So
it was really
that would be
amazing.
neat.
Especially a few more things about the UK before I move on, because it's just mind blowing sometimes. Like
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, I don't know what kind of books they were, but they were picture books with definitions by the pictures, like of describing, and it was almost like you were flipping through a museum in a book.
Okay.
They were some of my favorite books in the library at our school. Me and my friend Don, we'd always get the same ones because we were stupid kids, and we just like pictures.
You just like the picture book.
Yeah.
Hey, there's not.
And
let's
our
do it.
and our go-to stuff is the medieval, like 'cause they got the different torture
Yeah,
weapons. And you're just like,
exactly.
what the fuck, eyeball scoopers?
This is
Like,
the book I like.
yeah, this is very interesting. And so to actually be there physically and not
Yep.
looking at it through a book that was really amazing to me. I want to get to Asia, but I want to finish Italy first because I know you've been to China and Asia and as a whole, all the fucking countries I want to visit because I'm really big into like I love the architecture. I love kind of like their religions and their culture. I'm intrigued by it because it's so different and it's real beautiful to me. And so I want to know more about your experiences there. But let's go back to Italy and finish that off first. Did you already say what your favorite part of Italy was?
Nope.
No? Do you have a favorite?
Yes.
All right,
Yes,
which
I do.
was it?
So, well, I did love Rome. That
Yeah.
was amazing.
Sure.
My favorite by far from the four cities, that we did was I loved Venice. And
Venice?
it's so funny because we were just talking with our friend Jason, who
Jason.
had been there and he hated it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I just don't get what you're talking about. I loved it. Like I thought it was so cool. But again, it also depends. We went in January, so it was very deserted. Like there wasn't a ton of people there.
Sure.
I totally get it. And the guy told us, who was walking us around and kind of touring us, saying like, we were in these big open, areas. And he was
Yeah.
like, in the summer, literally, you can't even move. These are packed with tourists and people. And we would have never got to go into all the basilicas and all the stuff. He goes, because the lines go all day because there's so many people there. And looking at that, I was like, oh, that would be horrible. Like that would not be enjoyable. So I'm so happy that we went in January because again, it was very casual. It was very leisurely. Was it hot? No, but it was beautiful, and I got to experience
So-
it.
For the people that don't know, you said Venice, right?
Yes,
So Venice is the water city, basically.
not underwater.
Well, I meant like submerged, like the.
It's on the water.
It's on stilts.
It's on stilts, exactly.
stilts.
So they don't have streets; they have canals.
And they use instead of taxis, they use the
It's a gondolas.
gondola,
Yes.
big freaking boat.
Yep.
And they got bridges that they go under.
Exactly. So
think
you
like
either walk, over bridges or to any transportation. Like I was saying too, it was so cool. You're just sitting there and I'm like, I can't imagine. I'm watching the people who live there thinking,
Yeah.
this is amazing that your life, like your norm is your streets are water. If you're going anywhere, it's going to be on a boat or something
Swimming.
like that. Like I watched, because this is me, like I'm looking around, like taking it all in.
Yeah.
So their UPS delivery guy, see, I swear to God, it's a boat.
It's a boat.
And he's like, he goes to wherever and parks in front of the store, and then
Yeah.
they've got these carts, like dollies.
Yeah.
And he'll get his dolly out, and he gets all the stuff, and then
Wow.
he dollies down the street, delivers it to all the
wild.
people or the restaurant, or, the stores and stuff like that, goes to the next thing, gets his dolly out, and I'm like, that's just so insane
that's
to
just
me.
his
And that's
normal.
every day. That's
Yeah.
everyday deliveries. Like that's how it happens there. That kind of stuff to me was just really cool.
Do they use like Vespas, like little mopeds that they drive around the streets with, or is it still too small for that? Do you have to just walk on the sidewalk?
I
Is there like
don't remember seeing any.
so there's just like,
It was also winter time, so
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know. I don't know that you're allowed any type of motor type of stuff. Bicycles.
just bicycles?
You would see bicycles, but
Okay.
most people
Just
would walk or use the
Wow.
the water transportation.
And was that just like was that like what you liked most about it was how it was in the water and just so different? or-
exactly. I think so. I was so intrigued, and to me,
Yeah.
like I said, it was. I don't know. It was just endearing to me that
Yeah.
the way life was and the way everything was set up, and I
Were-
don't know. I
were
just
the-
enjoyed it.
Were like the people nice? Were they encouraging
You know what? We didn't.
or were they
We
like,
didn't meet any people anywhere that weren't nice in Italy.
That's nice.
So I know a lot of times they say sometimes France, and I don't know because I haven't been there.
Yeah.
But people say that how they're rude.
Yeah.
Italy, I did not meet one rude person. Like even with the language barrier or whatever, everybody was super nice, and that was also nice. You know.
Now, were any of those cities like drinking towns? Because I'll tell you, Ireland and Scotland, they're fucking drunks.
So nobody is gonna compare with where you went. No,
Oh,
because it's just what they're
fucking
known for. Yeah,
losers.
no.
It was great. It was great though because like there's since everyone's drinking so heavy, it's just like, oh, I'm not an alcoholic. Like
No,
this isn't
exactly.
alcoholism. This is just life. This is what you do. You drink when you wake up and you drink till you
No,
go to
I think
sleep.
Italy was a little bit different. Like you'd go and yeah, you'd have a glass of wine, you know, and stuff like that, or a bottle of wine, but still like no, not
Classy.
like the pubs with their
Oh
and
my
any
God.
of that. No.
Dude, one of the pubs we went to in Ireland, there was this thing called like something like a Green Mile or something like that. It wasn't for hookers. It was straight for bars, right? And it was a mile or three of just pubs, and we'd walk in live art, live not well, it is art, live music is what I meant to say, and that's what we were kind of just hitting. We were walking around to all the live artists, just drinking, walking, and it was crazy because it's legal to drink on certain streets there, if I'm not mistaken, or at least people were just doing it. And it's similar to Vegas, where like you're walking the strip, and there's just so many people. People are drinking, people are smoking, people are doing their thing. But it was a different vibe in the sense of like Vegas. I kind of felt like oh man, this place is kind of trashy. Like it seems like you may get stabbed by a meth head or something. Like like I kind of got that feeling of like I wasn't very comfortable, like because people just seemed very
Shady.
Yeah, people seem shady. That's a good word for it. They seem shady. But in Ireland, it was more. It felt like a collegey.
Just kind of comfortable.
Yeah, it was
hanging
just
out.
like people are just cheered. They're young. They're drinking. They're just
they're
hanging
there to
out.
have a good time, not to start shit, not to do anything. like that.
Yeah. It was real fun though. It's a mile of bar. Every place was a bar, pretty much, and
And you just pop in and out.
just get wasted.
Well, you know what? Doesn't sound like a bad experience
It
to have.
It wasn't. There was a lot of throw up on the
Oh
side of the road,
God,
though.
I could imagine.
And it's funny because in the morning, the first day we got there in like the morning, and there was these guys with like,
Hosing it down.
yeah, they have hoses,
Oh,
man.
could you imagine that being your job?
That's their job, and we had no idea. They're like, oh, they're just hosing the street, like whatever. But the first night we got it,
We're
just
like,
those people just. It makes perfect sense. There's homeless people.
Can we rail this in?